This is my 2024 Sur-Ron Ultra Bee, and I have a plan to turn this into the fastest Ultra Bee in the UK. So in today's video, we're going to be doing exactly that. We are going to completely transform this bike and modify the performance to the absolute max to push this thing to its limits. So let's jump straight into it, and I'm going to show you exactly how and what we're going to do to this bike to make it the fastest Sur-Ron Ultra Bee in the UK.
Let me see you try.
So first off, we are going to be installing a new controller. So we have gone for the VTB Aetos Max controller. Just this controller alone is going to massively increase the performance of this bike. But we're not going to stop there. There's a few other things that we need to add to achieve that #1 spot for making this the fastest Sur-Ron in the UK. So we're going to be pairing that controller with this motor. Again, VTB, a matching pair. And this is the new VTB Ryuga motor. Now you're probably thinking, yeah, that's great, you've got a new controller, you've got a new motor, yes, the bike's going to be very fast, but this all means nothing unless we have something to power these new modifications, and that's where this comes in. Let me introduce the 96 volt 56 amp hour Pegasus battery, again from VTB. This thing is going to be the absolute key to getting this bike to be the fastest in the UK. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video, because we're going to be doing some test runs on this bike to see exactly how fast we can get it and the amount of kilowatts that we can push this new setup to. So stick around. So without further ado, let's get all of this out the box, get it installed onto the bike. Let's take it out and see if we have achieved our goal of turning this Ultra Bee into the fastest in the UK. Let's jump straight into it. Okay, so we're going to start off by installing the motor first, just because I think this is definitely going to be the most sort of trickiest part of the build. So let's have a look inside and see exactly what we get. So here we have the brand new motor that's going to be going onto the bike. It's not actually as heavy as I thought it was going to be. I think this weighs around sort of 12, just under 13 kilograms. So actually a lot lighter than some of the other motors that are available on the market. New belts and new pulleys. Oh, look at that. So obviously with all this extra power, we also need to upgrade a lot of the other parts to be able to cope with it. Also got a new motor guard to go on there as well. And inside this box, oh dear, something that was meant to be one and is now broken into a load of different pieces. Yeah. So after picking up what felt like 1,000 pieces off the workshop floor, I finally get started on removing the rear wheels so I can access the swing arm. So once the wheel's out of the way, I can remove the centre swing arm pin, allowing the whole rear swing arm to come off the back of the bike. With that removed, I can pull out the jack shaft and swap the old pulley out for the brand new VTB upgraded pulley that's supplied within the kit. So that is the jack shaft all put together with the new pulley back on there. So I'm just going to get this thrown back on the bike now, get all the back swing arm assembled, get the wheel back on, and then we can finally move on to the actual main part of this bit and install the motor. Once that's in, let's go ahead and get the controller in. But yeah, let's throw it all back together. So with the whole back of the bike now reassembled, it's time to install the motor. But first off, I'm just going to remove the old controller just to give me way more access to be able to get this new motor installed. Next up, off comes the bash guard along with all the framework that holds it together on the bike, and only then can I access the mounts that holds this motor in. Using a jack, I carefully lower the old motor out of the bike before installing the brand new Ryuga motor into its new home. And because this new motor is pushing some serious power, the kit actually comes with some upgraded motor mounts that run all the way through the motor from one side of the bike to the other, instead of just relying on 4 separate bolts to hold it in place. So several hours later, and we finally got the motor all installed, looking sweet, belts all tensioned up. So next up, we are going to go ahead, open up the controller, and we can get this installed on the bike. And then it's just the finishing touches, making sure everything's nice and tight. We can get the battery installed and finally take this thing out and go and rip. Let's jump into it. So first step, we just need to install these brackets that's going to hold the controller onto the bike, and they literally just bolt on like so. So with the face cables all installed, it's time to do the most satisfying thing and take the film off this brand new controller, looking fresh. So with the motor and the controller now all installed, I can reattach the bash guard mounts before finishing things off with this brand new swanky motor cover. Finally, the battery goes into its new home and it's secured with these huge battery cables supplied within the kit that you get with this battery. And that is job done. Let's take a quick look at the bike before we go out and test this thing. Yes, and guys, everything is fully built on the bike. I've gone over every single bolt to make sure that nothing is going to come off this bike, because I think, or I know, this is going to be capable of some ridiculous power. So let's head out, let's go and find the longest, straightest, quietest road that we can, and we're going to test this thing out. I don't want to put it into the top power modes just yet until we get there, just because I want to get a sort of first reaction of how it actually is. I'm only in mode 2 at the moment, which is like an eco mode. So just before we get out to the top speed run, I just want to run through a couple of numbers. So the battery alone can push around 81 kilowatts. Obviously a stock Ultra Bee, I mean the new ones, you're looking around sort of 21 kilowatts. You're looking at such an insane increase in power, and we can also push around 800 amps, which on a stock Ultra Bee max would be around sort of 210. So just to give you an idea, it's a ridiculous upgrade. Horsepower, we can run around 100 to I think around 112 horsepower, which absolutely blows my mind. You know, Stark Vargs, you're looking around 80 horsepower, so we're about 20, nearly 30 horsepower more than a Stark Varg. But yeah, let's see lovely, nice, quiet country roads. Whoa! Oh my god, that's eco! Jesus! This is mode 2. Okay, the top end is manageable, but the acceleration, the torque is, Jesus, it just throws you back. I guess at a lower speed you'd probably lift the wheel up. So about 20 mile an hour. Yeah, it lifts the wheel up straight away. Oh, still plenty of power there though. That actually feels faster than the stock, the stock setup. The torque is so snappy. Oh my god. Oh, bit of wet road. Oh my god. Okay, that's plenty fast enough. We've still got 3 more modes to go on that. So I've had to come out to the sort of countryside to find the quietest roads, and we've got no GPS, so I have got other apps acting in the background, so we'll have to look at the data later on. But yeah, let's give this mode 2. Whoa, yeah. Unbelievable. Top end, I guess is around 50 mile an hour, something like that, but insane amount of acceleration. Let's go up into mode 3, about 40 mile an hour. Whoa! Oh my god! Oh my god! Jesus! Need to try and get some signal because I've got no idea how fast I'm going at the moment, but I haven't actually configured the display to show my true sort of reading in miles per hour, because I just need to set up the sprocket size and the wheel diameter. But my god, the torque and acceleration. Okay, so we've got a bit of signal, so we'll test mode 3 again. 13 mile an hour, here we go. So 14. Oh, I can't keep the front, oh my god, I can't keep the front wheel down. We've lost signal again. Let's jump this straight up into mode 4 then. Okay, mode 4, probably about 35 mile an hour. Oh! 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 The front wheel was wiggling everywhere. I can't keep the front wheel from squirreling. Oh my god! Oh! Jeez! Jesus! Mode 4 4 is by far the fastest thing I've ever experienced on 2 wheels. You cannot keep that front wheel down. I don't even know if I want to put this into mode 5. I'm not going to be able to pin this because it's just going to throw me off the back. But okay, we're in mode 5. The display's gone red. Let's attempt. I can already feel the throttle is. Okay, here we go. No, I can't. Okay, oh! No, slow. Oh. There is absolutely no way you can pin that. Oh, the wheel's coming up. Oh, I still haven't. The wind! We still weren't at quite full throttle there. We still had a little bit left in it. I can't bring myself to full throttle that. I just wish I could get some GPS to see how fast I was going, but in the edit I am recording on Strava so we can try and get an idea of the top speed, but it'd just be interesting to see quite how fast we were going in the pickup. I'll try and pin the camera down so you can get a bit more of a view, but I can't go around this corner full throttle. But oh my, oh, you almost have to gradually accelerate. There's just no way you can pin that. Like, I can't really put into words how ridiculously fast that is. That's about 70 around the corner. Whoa. Oh, I'm so sorry for the noises coming out of my mouth right now. So I've put the camera in a slightly different view just to kind of give you an idea, because I'm not sure if it's really catching on camera how much that wheel actually lifts up. 30 mile an hour. My God, what a machine I've built.
So I've just popped on screen now the Strava data from this ride, and as you can see in the bottom right hand corner, we have achieved a speed of 91.4 miles an hour. This is running around 69 kilowatts, and we can push this thing right up to about 80 kilowatts. So we are definitely on for 100 mile an hour plus. So I'll be fine tuning the settings just so we can get even more out of this bike, pushing it to its absolute limit. So make sure you stay tuned for future videos coming up.
So like I was saying, this video was just about the build of this bike. The next couple of videos we're going to go through and be fine tuning it to see what top speed we can get and how much power we can get out of this setup. The sun is about to set, so I'm going to head back, but as always, thank you ever so much for watching this video till the end. If you've enjoyed it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.
Get down in the car, one time give it all. Bust it open hard, let me see